Hi guys, so I'm back again with another review. It's been a while. I think my last review was of Breath of Life. The reason why it's been a while is because I decided to take a break, from social media because you know how social media can be very distracting and you have a lot of goals and accomplishments that you want to achieve, and the noise of social media, the distraction, the negative news, it can be a lot. It can be like over information, sometimes even misinformation. So I personally decided, I know a lot of people do this sometimes when the new year comes, to just take a break, the whole of January. I might even extend it to February, just to get off social media, try to refocus, recenter myself. I did mainly Instagram because that's like my Achilles heel. I also deleted TikTok because last year and 2 years ago was like my TikTok year. I just became really, 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 I won't say addicted, but I was really active on there, but not an active user, more like an active viewer. But yeah, it's really good to be back, doing these reviews because I really genuinely love watching movies and I really genuinely love doing reviews. So today I'm going to be reviewing A Tribe Called Judah. It's been long awaited, this review. I'm really excited to do it. I finally watched it this month, and let me just dive right into the review. I don't want to waste any time. I'm going to, as usual, talk about what I did like about the movie, and I'm going to talk about what I did not like about the movie. All right, so let's dive right in. A Tribe Called Judah is a movie that was written, produced, and directed by Funke Akindele, and we all know that Funke Akindele is the queen of comedy, and she has some really amazing works out there. That I can say, okay, these movies were really good. I really liked Omogeto personally, and some people that didn't like it, but I personally liked it. And I like the fact that her movies usually address like social issues, familial issues, political issues, and the like. She really focuses on driving home a message with her movies while ensuring that there's, of course, enough comic relief to just balance everything out, because sometimes you can even address like some really, really intense, um, you know, issues and topics, and you don't really think about it because there's the comic relief aspect to balance everything out. Now, A Tribe Called Judah is centered around the lead protagonist, or one of the protagonists, called Jedediah Judah, who has five sons. She comes from a low income family. She's a trade, like her like trader. She owns like a chain of keke na peps, so, and she's like kind of popular in her community. She's very benevolent, always helping people out, even though she doesn't have a lot of money. You will see her giving people money. There were like two scenes that showed her helping two different women out, to help them start their own businesses or fund their businesses. And it just showed how she was really particular and passionate about empowering women. And then the movie also focuses on not just Jedediah, but her children, her five sons. She has five children from five different men, and all of them are boys. And the five men that she had them with come from different tribes. I think I really like that. So I think that's what inspired the name A Tribe Called Judah. The first one is Emeka, who of course is Igbo. Second one is Adamu, who is Hausa. Third one is Pere, who is, I think, from the Middle Belt, I think Wari or something. And then we have Shina, who is Yoruba, and then I think we have Ejiro. Clara Ejiro, I don't really know. I think South South also. So she had her five boys who were very, very protective of her, and out of all her five sons, only two of them were responsible, for lack of a better word. They were doing well, they were working. Emeka was working in a furniture store as a sales boy, or a sales manager, kind of. And then Adamu was working as a security guard, at a mall. So only two of them were working and doing well. The other three, were that one is a pickpocketer. And then we have Shino, who rolls with, Omonile, people that always try to claim lands and the likes, street thugs basically. And then Ejiro could have been responsible because he's an artist, but he decided to also go around duping people with his wonderful, wonderful girlfriend called Testimony. So basically, the movie had a very good foundation in terms of the story. The plot looked good. From the beginning of the movie, I was actually captivated because I think when the boys were introduced, I really loved how they were individually introduced, and the catchy Judah, Judah at the back, in the soundtrack. It was really, really nice. They just showed them in their respective turfs, doing their thing and then introducing them. So like I said, the movie had a very good foundation for a good plot, for a good story. So let me start with what I like about the movie so that I can now move into what I did not like about the movie, and then I'm going to give my overall score. So first thing I'm going to talk about in terms of the things I liked about the movie is the plot. I really liked the plot of the movie. It had potential, and you will know why I'm saying it had potential in a bit. The movie gave us a sneak peek of what it's like, to live in low income areas, to come from a low income family, to also be jilted, to be a single mother raising boys. The movie also gave us a peek into what it's like to work with, a toxic boss, and a toxic manager, and also how sometimes, some kids come from low income areas, but some of them actually do well. It's also based on your choice or your decision. We had like five brothers, and two out of them were actually responsible up until of course they were no longer responsible. So I liked the story. It had a lot of potential. The second thing I really liked about the movie was definitely the acting. I believe that the actors did a very, very good job, a very impeccable job. I really liked Jide Kene. Jide Kene was the guy who played Emeka, the firstborn. He did a very good job portraying how firstborns behave, and I really liked the fact that he was very passionate about, delivering his lines. There was a scene where he wanted to beat Timini up, and it was so believable. I was even feeling for Timini. I was like, guy, don't beat this guy. Timini also, I really liked the fact that he took on a different role as a pickpocketer and a wayward son. We know Timini to take on more of romantic interest roles where he's a playboy, lover boy, sometimes wayward son, but never like a pickpocketer, or a street boy. So I really like that. And then I really liked, of course, we all know Funke Akindele is a very good actress. So that one was like, it was like a needless to say situation. She killed her role as Jedediah, and everybody just killed her. So the acting was definitely good. I really liked the acting. Of course, some scenes could have been shorter. The acting was overall, I think it was good. It was good. Third thing I liked about the movie was the costuming, particularly the robbery scene, when they were going to rob C&K furniture store. I really liked the costume. I think that was like my favorite, one of my favorite scenes from the movie, because that scene felt like I was watching The Purge. If you've seen The Purge, an American movie, it didn't feel like the same movie anymore. It felt like I was watching another movie. And I think that was like my highlight, because a lot of thought, a lot of intention was put into that scene, from the elevator to when they were smashing the cameras to when the rival robbery gang arrived, and then they showed up with their own high tech, costume or high tech disguise. I was just like, oh my god, what is happening here? Like, this movie is really, I really like this scene. Like, that scene actually got me hyped up. It was really, really nice. I think the fourth thing I liked was the dialogue. The dialogue was nice, it wasn't bad. Of course, like I said, some scenes could have been shorter. They didn't need to be as long as they were. But the dialogue was good for the most part of it. The fifth thing I really liked was the comic relief, and I didn't expect anything less from Funke Akindele, because she's the queen of comedy. So definitely the comic relief has to be good. I really liked Toby Makinde. That's the guy who played Shino. I liked his scenes. He was just dropping some very funny lines. But I think the actor, the person that stole the spotlight for me, definitely has to be Uzo Arikwe, who played Emeka's boss, the money launderer. Oh my God. Everything about that role, that character was portrayed to the T by Uzo, from his walk to his slow draw when he's talking, to some of the funny funny things he was saying, like, oh, your mother is sick, give me a number, let me send it to my wife to send to our pastor, there's a prayer chain, all these funny funny things, to his outfits. Like, you could tell he was a money, even before like they reviewed he was a money launderer. I'm like, this guy is a money launderer. Like, who sells furniture for 15, 14, 30 million? Do you understand? So I really, really liked that, the comic relief, and that particular guy's actor, that's Uzo Arikwe. I didn't mention his name when I'm talking about the acting, but yeah, he killed his role to the T. He was like one of my highlights when it comes to like people that killed their roles in that movie. So those were the things I liked about the movie. The plot to a large extent. I like the acting. I like the comic relief, the dialogue for the most part of it, and the costuming was wonderful. Now let's go to what I did not like about the movie. Da-da-da. So the first thing I didn't like about the movie was the fact that when they reached the climax, or one of the climaxes of the movie, which was when, spoiler alert by the way, but we all should know this by now, was when Emeka died. And then from there, the movie just took a very huge nosedive, because I didn't understand why such a very strong personality and character like Emeka would die, and then his death was treated like trash. Like it was like as soon as a chicken died or a mosquito died. There wasn't any respect given to his death. It was like as if no, he died and that was the end. We didn't even see a funeral. So I understand that a lot of things were happening simultaneously after Emeka died, like incest team, the rival robbery gangs team looking for the Emeka and his brothers and the likes, and then also Emeka's boss also looking for who robbed him, and then of course the police. So like I understand all of that, but it just felt like he was a chicken that died. It wasn't somebody that had a lot of purpose in the movie, because remember that he didn't even want to go to rob the store, so for him to die, like, I had a feeling he was going to die anyways. I had a feeling he was going to die, but I didn't understand why his death wasn't treated with much more respect. So that for me got me a bit upset. Second thing that I didn't like and I didn't understand why the movie had that flow was the fact that when Jedediah, which was played by Funke, fell sick, I didn't understand why nobody from the community rallied around her to take care of her, to even contribute some form of money, even if it's not going to be enough to handle all her weekly dialysis, at least just a contribution. Nothing. Even the women she helped, Fetia Balogun and the woman in the beginning that she helped, we didn't see them again. I thought she helped them. That was the end. When she fell sick, nobody rallied around her. And it was weird for me because for someone who is as benevolent and as magnanimous as Jedediah Judah, to fall sick and nobody from the community that she's always trying to help came to rally around her or came to support her or came to help. Nobody came to check up on her. They didn't show anybody come check up on her. It was very weird. So I feel like that was like an omission, or maybe I don't know. They didn't have the time to start writing, that part of the script. I don't know what happened, but it was very weird for me. Another thing I didn't really like, and it wasn't like it was really bad. It's just that I just wished it was taken from a different angle, or it was the story was told from a different angle, was the fact that I didn't understand why Jedediah was a drunk. Like she remained a drunk. What really happened to her? I understand that yes, she was jilted. I understand that the love of her life, Boma, died and some things. And yes, some people like turn to substances or alcohol, just to take away the pain or to focus on something else, something that would not make them depressed. I understand all of that. But for someone who was always praying, always talking about how, their family's curse or whatever must change and the likes, it just felt a bit strange that she was drinking a lot and she ended up having, the kidney disease. I felt like, she could have been a good example to her children. Yes, things happened to her. Her last husband ran away with her money and the likes. The love of her life, Boma, died. I understand all of that. But I just didn't understand why she had to keep on drinking and drinking. And you are wondering why you have three children or two children that are more or less miscreants. I felt like that the story could have been told from a different angle without her being an alcoholic. That's just a personal preference. It doesn't have to be the standard, or I mean, the way it was told wasn't really bad. I would have just preferred if it was told from an angle of her not being an alcoholic. Another thing that I didn't like about the movie was the end. I just felt like the end was rushed. That is usually the case for a lot of Nigerian movies. I've noticed that Nigerian movies, they start well. When they get to the middle of the movie, they still peak at the middle, yeah. But when it's time to like come to a final resolution, they have a problem tying the story together and coming to a final sensible resolution. Because I don't understand the ending of that movie. It was weird for me. you ran to the hospital to go and bring your mother. Then you people are going to Aba. You abandoned your grandmother. Then it was obviously rushed. It even felt rushed. It looked rushed. I was just like, nah. For a movie that had a lot of potential, I felt like they didn't give the end the justice that it deserved. So for me, that really kind of left like a bitter taste in my mouth, if you know what I mean. So I did something quite funny. I decided to come up with an alternate flow of events for the movie A Tribe Called Judah. So we still have everything as it is in the movie. Jedediah was jilted. She has five different children, with five different men from different tribes, yada, 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 yada. But where I would change the storyline is where, she's drinking a lot. She's an alcoholic. I would have preferred if she redeemed herself. There's some form of redemption where she stopped drinking. But because of years of being addicted to alcohol, being an alcoholic, she still ends up being sick. Do you understand? I would have shown the community coming to rally around her, to help her, to support her, probably even contribute some money that would pay for 1 week, because I think 1 week of the dialysis was 100,000 naira. They would contribute some money to pay for at least 1 week of the dialysis, just to show that the community was behind her and they cared about her because of her benevolence. And then I would have not made Emeka's boss a money launderer. He would have been an okay guy, just a normal guy, but he instead would still be the nasty manager. And then and then instead of them having to rob a store, I would have preferred if Emeka would have been promoted to incest position, because the boss would have seen that she wasn't doing anything. He was a better manager. He even knew how to handle the product and the furniture more than her, and then he would promote him, and he would actually give him some money to help his mom. um and then also because Shino, and Pere, the two miscreants, the two street thugs, who can see that Adamu and Emeka are actually doing well, and because of Emeka's good work, he was even able to get money from his boss. They would turn a new leaf. You know, I know there was a scene where Jedediah got Pere a job at a supermarket in the mall to be stacking bread or something. He would have taken that job and he would have done well. He would have probably even been promoted after a while, probably to cashier or something. And then Emeka, sorry, not Emeka, Ejiro would have been doing his art, probably even get a good gig. I know it sounds like, roses and fairy tales and chocolates and, but this is what I just feel like the ending could have been. And then after everything, based on how the story started, anyways, this is what I feel like the flow of events should have been or could have been, for me. And based on everything, she will still die. I feel like the dad should have been the one to die, based on the fact that she had the chronic kidney disease. They ended up doing the dialysis, but she died. And at the end of the day, the boys will come together. They will build a community center that would help the women that she had been helping from in the beginning. Um, they would build a community center called A Tribe Called Judah, or Judah's Tribe or something. And that community center would help people out, there'll be like a community bucket or pocket where there's money. People can get money to help to run their businesses, something along those lines. And then the movie would have ended on that note. That's what I personally would have written as the flow of events and ending of the movie, because for me it ties to the beginning when she was putting oil on her children's heads and praying for them and talking about how they would overcome the curse on their family and how they would prosper and the likes. That's a good ending for me. It seems like an overly rosy ending, but that's what I would have preferred. Frankly, if it had gone the way that I just described, we wouldn't have had the amazing, amazing robbery scene or the character of Emeka's boss. So let me know what you think about my alternate flow of events slash ending. Now to my overall score of the movie. If I'm going to rate A Tribe Called Judah based on the things I liked and the things I did not like about the movie, I'm going to give it a solid 7 over 10, because the movie had a lot of potential. The acting was good, the cinematography was good, the plot had good potential. So a 7 over 10, and I think that it definitely deserves the rave and the hype that it's getting, you know save for those things I said I did not like. So yeah, let me know what you think about my review, and let me know If you have different thoughts, different opinions, I am open to hear what you think about the movie. So thanks for joining in. And till next time, bye.